Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. Don't feminists ever think it's creepy how powerful men love their abortion movement? I mean, seriously, isn't that a giant red flag that something's got to be up? Especially for those who brought us the Me Too era, where we were supposed to believe that rapey men were hanging around every conference room and in every office water cooler. You think rapey men want to be on the hook for 18 years paying child support or running from the courts on it? Or would they rather kill the kid? I'm sorry to put it so bluntly, but it is what it is. And yet, here we have the Democrat governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, a man at least for now, going to such great lengths to push for abortion that he has even created a 501c4 nonprofit, otherwise known as a dark money operation, to expand abortion access nationwide in the wake of the fall of Roe. Remember that quaint time in the not-so-distant past when Democrats used to pretend to care about dark money organizations because they said that those who gave huge amounts of money to sway the governing of this nation should have at least some accountability to the public. But then, once Democrats began running away with the ball and far outpacing Republicans on the financing of dark money organizations, they decided to drop the issue like a hot potato. Well, Rhode Island Senator Sheldon Whitehouse still makes noise about it every once in a while, but that's about it because of the elephant in the room, which is that it's kind of hard to beat Republicans over the head with it when even the New York Times has headlines like this one. Democrats decried dark money, then they won with it in 2020. An Open Secrets says dark money topped $1 billion in 2020, largely boosting Democrats. Again, it's kind of awkward for the left these days. Anyway, going back to Pritzker, whose family dumps huge amounts of money to pressuring universities and hospitals to go all in on the trans issue, he's already going after pro-life pregnancy centers in his state by trying to force them to become abortion cheerleaders to their patients through compelled speech laws. His new PAC, Think Big America, wants constitutional abortion amendments in states like Ohio, Arizona, and Nevada, where they're lobbying hard for it. And as the Associated Press reports about his organization, quote, a 3-person board directing operations for Think Big America includes Desiree Rogers, former White House Social Secretary under President Barack Obama, Chicago State Rep Margaret Croke, and Chicago Alderwoman Michelle Harris, end quote. So kind of a who's who for liberals in the state. And supposedly Pritzker funds his own PAC, so his team says there are no shady actors funding his movement, at least right now. And that may be true for the time being, seeing as his family are billionaire heirs of the Hyatt Hotel empire, but it won't always be this way. The PAC will open up to powerful left-wing moneyed interests if it hasn't already. Joining us now to discuss is Mark Vargas, the editor-in-chief of the Illinois Review. Mark, thanks for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Gracie, do you think Pritzker has enough problems in the state of Illinois that he doesn't need to go nationwide spreading his horrific policies?
Well, Kara, this is a deliberate effort. J.B. Pritzker is the wealthiest sitting politician in America with a net worth of over $3.6 billion. He spent $350 million of that to become governor twice. And it's a reason why Chicago is hosting the Democratic National Convention. He called President Biden and offered that that he would pay the $100 million tab to host the national convention in Chicago. He would pay it himself if need be. So what we're seeing here, Kara, is sort of a culmination of Pritzker expanding his national profile because he does have presidential ambitions. And that's what this is all about. It's about expanding his profile, expanding his base. He's going on all the national television programs. He's even doing the small things like building a brand new podium that looks like the presidential podium when he delivers press conferences. So he's thinking big, he's spending big, but it's all about raising his profile so that he can run for president of the United States.
It definitely is, and he thinks that abortion is going to be that big issue that can help sew up at least a portion of voters. And now then the conversation turns to when's he going to run. You know, the California governor, Gavin Newsom, he's very similar, just chomping at the bit. You can tell he has his own presidential ambitions. So I think they're going to wait on this election cycle, let Biden remain. I'm thinking they're looking more towards 2028. I'm thinking Pritzker and Newsom right now. But don't you think that might be kind of a funny matchup if they go head-to-head in a Democrat presidential primary? Because both of these men, both of these governors, head states in which people are fleeing hand over fist. The moving vans are all going one way. So basically, what's their pitch to the American voters, to Democrat voters in other states? Vote for me so I can ruin your state too? Do you think that'll be kind of perhaps the funny little elephant in the room, I guess, that's going to be awkward for both of them to have to contend with?